Have you ever waited until you felt ready before starting something new? I used to be that person. I waited for motivation, for the right mood, the right timing, the right opportunity. But then I realized motivation never just shows up. I remember something my old coach in Toronto once told me. If you wait until you feel ready to start training, you'll never start at all. That's when it hit me. Emotion doesn't start action. Action creates emotion. You don't have to feel inspired to go for a run. Start running and the energy will come. Winners don't wait for motivation to knock on the door. They create it by doing, by moving, by pushing forward. The world doesn't reward people who plan to start someday. It only remembers those who did. Now imagine this. You're trying to change, trying to grow, but every time you're tired, the people around you say, "Take a break, you can do it tomorrow." Sounds caring, right? But that's how you slowly become weaker. Humans are creatures of influence. It doesn't matter how strong you are. If you live among people who settle, you'll eventually learn to settle too. I used to have friends like that, always soft with each other, never honest, until I met a guy who said to me one day, "If you said you wanted to change, why are you still sitting here complaining?" I was angry then, but later I was grateful. Because growth never happens in comfort. If you want to be strong, surround yourself with people who demand your discipline, who make you feel like you still have work to do. Your environment can either raise you or cage you. Choose it wisely. Discipline. It sounds rigid, but it's actually the foundation of freedom. I've met countless people who said they wanted success, but only worked when they felt like it. The problem is, feelings are never stable. Today, you're motivated. Tomorrow, you're drained. If your life is controlled by emotions, you'll never go far. A disciplined man doesn't need reminders. He wakes up early when he doesn't want to. He trains when it's cold. He works when no one's watching. And in those quiet, unseen moments, that's when true strength is built. I once heard a fighter say, "The most important battle doesn't happen in the ring. It happens every morning, when I have to defeat myself." Winning against yourself is the hardest victory, but it's also the one that makes you unstoppable. Because when you can force yourself to do what you don't want to, nothing in this world can stop you. Discipline doesn't kill emotion. It just puts it in the right place, behind action. Now ask yourself this: what's truly scarier? Failure, or living a life that means nothing? Failure only makes you fall, but mediocrity kills you slowly, without you even noticing. I've met people with big dreams who chose safety, who chose comfort instead of growth. Years later, they look back and say, "I wish I had tried a little harder." That's the real tragedy. Failure hurts, yes, but pain teaches you. Comfort teaches nothing. It just rocks you to sleep in repetition. So fear mediocrity. Fear waking up one day and realizing you haven't grown. Because when you fear being average, you push yourself to rise. That fear, not motivation, becomes the fire that keeps you alive. I used to think happiness was the goal, that when I had enough money, success, or love, I'd finally be at peace. But I've learned something deeper. Happiness fades. Pride lasts. Happiness comes from a good meal, a compliment, a weekend trip. But pride comes from doing the hard thing. Showing up when you're exhausted, staying true when others take shortcuts. Pride isn't about ego. It's the quiet moment when you can look in the mirror and say, "I did the right thing." A man doesn't have to smile all the time, but he should be able to respect the man staring back at him. Because when you live with pride, you not only strengthen yourself, you become an example. For your kids, your friends, the ones who've lost their way. Happiness is temporary. Pride is legacy. And maybe the mission of a man isn't to feel good, but to live so that tomorrow he can look back and say, "I didn't give up." I know it sounds dramatic, but it's true. We're living in a real matrix. Not the movie kind, but a system that keeps people busy yet stagnant, tired but never free. You're taught to study so you can work so you can pay debt, and stay in debt so you keep working. Then one day you pause and realize you've never lived for yourself. The Matrix doesn't need chains to control you. It only needs your laziness and your comfort. You say, "I'll start tomorrow," or "when I have time," and before you know it, a decade is gone. The only way out? Work until the system can't control you anymore. Become so skilled, so disciplined, and so free that you no longer need permission to live differently. The Matrix doesn't fear complainers. It fears those who act, those who build discipline and never wait for rescue. Because once you wake up, you'll see, freedom isn't given. It's earned. Some days you won't feel like doing anything. You won't want to get up, talk, or try. I know that feeling. We all do. But I've learned something. Your emotions don't have the right to control your actions. Feelings are temporary. Responsibility is forever. If you let your emotions decide, you'll never go far, because they change every hour. But life demands consistency every day. I've coached men in their 30s, 40s, even 50s. They told me, "I've lost motivation." And I told them, "That's fine. You don't need motivation. You need discipline." Motivation comes and goes. Discipline is what holds you up when everything else falls apart. When you're sad, still train. When you're tired, still work. When you're bored, still keep your promises to yourself. Because a real man isn't measured by how he feels, but by how he acts, even when he feels terrible. People say, "He's just lucky." But I've never met anyone truly lucky who didn't sweat for it thousands of times. I once worked with an athlete in Montreal, not faster, not stronger, not smarter than others, but he trained every single day for 10 years, never missing one. And one day, they called him a natural talent. There's no magic in that, only discipline. Small, boring actions repeated until perfect. The more you work, the more luck finds you. Not because the universe favors you, but because you've created enough chances for it to notice you. Luck doesn't fall from the sky. It's built from sweat, time, and persistence. And here's the irony. When you're disciplined enough to not need luck, luck will find you. People often say, "I'm not motivated," but no one stays motivated forever. Even the successful ones you admire. They have bad days too. They just keep going anyway, because they know motivation isn't the cause. It's the result. When you say, "I'm not motivated," what you really mean is, "I'm not disciplined enough to start." Winners don't blame emotions. They take responsibility. Losers blame circumstances, moods, and other people. Winners look in the mirror and say, "I am the problem, and I'm also the solution." Once you take full responsibility for your life, the good and the bad, you reclaim the power to change it. Don't let emotions control you, because in the end, life won't remember how you felt. It will only remember what you did. Self-control. It sounds simple, but it's the hardest test of maturity. Emotions are like waves. They rise fast and crash hard. But you're not the wave. You're the one deciding how to stand through it. I once met a man who lost everything: job, family, respect. He told me his biggest regret wasn't failure, but the times he let anger control him. One outburst, one impulsive choice, and everything was gone. A mature man isn't emotionless. He just knows where to place his emotions. He doesn't lash out, doesn't run, doesn't complain. He knows self-control is the ultimate power, because whoever masters himself can master his life. The world respects strength, but it only honors self-mastery. Pain is part of the journey. No one escapes it. The difference lies in how you face it. When pain comes, you can complain, or you can move. The universe doesn't reward tears. It opens doors for those who keep walking with bleeding hearts. A coach once told me, "Pain is the entry ticket for those who truly want to change." He was right. When you're exhausted, hopeless, on the edge of quitting, that's when you're being reborn. Pain doesn't come to destroy you, it comes to forge you. It teaches patience, endurance, appreciation. So when life knocks you down, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, What is this teaching me? Every scar, every failure is proof that you're alive, fighting, and growing. Pain isn't your enemy. It's the toughest teacher, but the only one that never lies. If you lose to yourself, you lose everything. Your biggest enemy isn't the world, it's the weaker version of you. I once asked a successful entrepreneur in Toronto, "What's your biggest fear?" He said, "Not failure, but waking up one day and realizing I gave up on myself." Procrastination, laziness, self-pity, they kill your potential quietly, day by day. You can win 100 battles out there, but if you lose inside, all victories are meaningless. The strong don't avoid falling. They just rise every time. Life will always challenge you. There will always be someone better. But as long as you don't lose to yourself, you still have a chance to become whoever you want. Work every day, not to become stronger, but to avoid growing weak. Your body and mind don't stay still. If you don't push them, they decay. Like a blade that dulls without sharpening, a man who stops growing is already fading. I once met a former athlete who told me, "I didn't notice when I got weak until I was out of breath climbing stairs." That's how life works. You don't stay sharp through promises, only through daily action. Every day you delay, someone else moves ahead. While you're on the couch, someone's training. While you're making excuses, someone's improving. Years later, you'll see the gap. Not made by luck, but by discipline. So work, train, read, even when you don't feel like it. Not to be extraordinary, but to avoid becoming a weaker version of yourself.